What's going on, everybody? The Obsession Podcast back at you. I'm Mike Stout.
I'm Karl Buffke.
Hey, Karl.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
No, every day's a holiday, my friend.
I knew it.
That's right.
I knew it.
That's right.
So, I have one for you. I like to be the instigator of the group
No way.
a lot of times. So
Hold on, shock look.
I was paging through my questions here.
Yeah,
and I did find it. I thought I had one.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to find it again.
We can get through all that porn.
Yeah.
What?
So,
Yeah.
this guy's name's Karl.
Oh boy.
So, I don't know. I already don't know about him.
Hey, he's definitely an intelligent individual.
Sounds made up. Anyway, Karl says, he's like, what are your guys' opinions on trail cameras? I feel, this is just what he said,
Okay.
that they are cheating and that people rely too much on them and aren't real hunters anymore.
Really? Well, you know that's not me.
Ah, God, I knew you'd love this one.
So.
Oh, it's Karl with a C.
Yeah.
It's Karl with a C. It's different.
Oh, All right. Trail cameras are cheating. Okay. First of all, number one, trail cameras are legal in our state. There are states that they're not legal in any longer. In our state, Wisconsin, they're legal. I think his view is he says it's too easy. Well, it's never too easy because you still have to be in the field to take the animal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still you against the animal. You know, he's probably one of them traditionalists that thinks, you know.
Yeah, he kind of said it's the technology. Well, the technology's killing the sport. I don't believe the technology's killing the sport. You want to get into what Scotty thinks killing the sport, but I don't think cameras is one of them.
Cameras, not one of them.
Cameras are they an asset? 100%.
Yeah.
Can they help you? 100%.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this still comes down to, do you know where to have your cameras, first of all? Do you know where to have, anybody can just take a camera and put it somewhere.
I got a camera on every tree in my woods.
Holy shit. You know what I mean? It really is an exact science. You need to know a lot about a trail camera. And I'm not just talking about how it works. I'm talking about where it needs to be, why it needs to be there.
Well,
it takes a lot of work to do that. You don't just go randomly plop them and be like, this should be pretty good at it. And then you see a deer and I'm like, ooh.
yeah. Well, you and I on our properties, just our two properties, for instance, we run a lot of cameras between the two of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You run cells because you can. I can't on my property, just because I don't get cell service. It's in a valley, and I don't get cell service there in most of the area. That being said, we could put cameras on trees in areas where a lot of people would say, oh, this is going to be a great spot, and not get a picture of a single deer.
Mm-hmm.
Because they only move through that area certain times of the year. Not times of the day, times of the year.
Yep.
So the knowledge there is us knowing, like you were just stating, when and where to put the cameras and location-wise. So we're educated on how the deer are moving when we want to hunt them. Mm-hmm. You know, and cameras don't make the kill.
Yeah. We can go back. And we haven't really utilized cameras a ton until we had our own
Property
stuff.
Yeah.
So, and we killed a lot of deer before there were cameras.
Yeah. More than we have with cameras, honestly.
Are they an aid? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
100%.
I think they're more of an aid, Mike, and you probably agree with it. I think they're more of an aid when we're hunting a specific deer.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the two bucks you shot this year, buck Phil shot.
Yep.
The buck I shot.
Yep.
We had on camera, or every single one of them. Were the cameras the reason we shot those deer? No.
Yeah. I mean,
we knew they were in the location.
Did I know where the deer were moving? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. But why? Because I knew where to put those cameras. Because I built my property around making deer like that come and move that way. Whether it be that big deer or another big deer.
Right.
You know, which, yes, I have that benefit.
Yes.
Because it is my property, or your property is yours.
Right.
Which is what you try to do with it.
Yes.
When you're hunting.
Yep.
I will take any advantage I can get. I'll just throw it out there. Like I put my time in. I put my work in. If I think something will help me,
I use it.
I'm going to use it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel that if you say you're not going to, okay, but it doesn't make you better
No.
than anybody.
And you shouldn't complain about others being able to use it as long as it's legal.
And I look at it this way. So let's say people say, "Oh, you guys only kill those big bucks, so you have cameras." Man, cool. We don't have cameras out west.
No.
It's not our property.
Yeah.
We just go out there on a limited time every year.
In a week.
And we put animals down.
Yes.
You know, whether that be mule deer, antelope, or elk.
Yep.
That we hunt.
Yep.
And we don't have any cameras up there.
None. We've never run. Well, I take that back. We took a camera once, I think.
We did take one once.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, other people too, like I think this is kind of BS because, you know, like the outfitters out there have to have cameras. Like, how are you going to get anybody to come and pay you to come want to hunt your property if you can't show them anything?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's deer out there.
I want you to spend
Yeah.
$5,000 to $7,000 to come here to hunt.
Karl, give me $7,000. Why? Yeah, there's probably deer over there.
Yeah. Okay, no.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't know if I really believe you. I don't know if I believe you.
Oh, you know what I mean? There's a big pissing match about cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid. I do. It doesn't make you kill any other animal. Does it give you somewhat of an advantage in some places? Yeah, obviously it probably does. You know, I could go into the other thing. Do I think people should shoot crossbows that don't have to? I don't.
Right.
So to me, I don't think that that's right. But you know what? It is what it is.
It's legal.
So it's legal, and it is what it is. Like, I could say the same with a gun.
Yeah.
I don't want to hunt things with a gun.
Yeah.
Is it legal? Yes. Do people do it? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same thing. Well, I don't think you should use binoculars.
Yeah. Bino range finders.
Because you can't see that far.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
I don't think you should use a rangefinder because you should be able to guess the yardage, and if you can't guess the yardage,
where do you stop with it?
No, and that's exactly where
you shouldn't use a release.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
right?
You're right. You're right.
I don't like using camel.
Oh, good
Not fair.
Lord! Here we go. Yeah.
Well,
no,
it is what it is. That's what
Yeah.
society is. Everything is too easy.
Yeah.
You know,
if
or
it's
not
so
easy
easy,
enough.
if it was so easy, everybody'd be shooting giant deer all the time. Right? So, yeah, cameras themselves, utilized properly, are probably the #1 tool in any whitetail hunter's bag for sure.
I agree.
Mule deer, elk, antelope, not very patternable
I don't
animals, to
think
be
they give
honest
you an
with you.
advantage because
No.
they're so random.
Yeah, you're out there, you get pictures of them, you kind of know that, there's deer there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that same mule deer going to come through there? How many times have we patterned a mule deer? There's only one guy sitting here right now that I know has patterned a mule deer.
I did it once.
Yeah, I've hunted them things 30 years, and he patterns one. And well,
I blew the shot. It didn't matter.
That's all right. But yeah, for a western game, I think it.
Yeah,
You know they're there. That's all you know. But whitetails a little more patternable, and that's only at times.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys will say, well, if I go to cell cam, I know the deer's there that night. Well, yeah, true.
But it don't matter. That doesn't mean
doesn't.
he's going to be there again.
No.
And, like, how many times, and you know this, how many times have I had whatever buck here, big buck here,
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
bang, 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 hitting the same thing every day, bang, 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 September 15th.
Yep. He gone.
Where the hell is he? He's still here,
Yeah.
but he ain't there anymore.
No.
And it happens all the time because things shift.
Yeah, 100%.
And deer shift. We talk about it all the time.
They could do
it's another podcast. Carl can tell you which one it is. You know, but it does, and then things change.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, like I said, anything I can get is going to give me a band. I'm going to take it. Minus a crossbow, I'm not going to do that.
Yep.
Myself.
Right.
I don't want to start my crossbow thing. I don't care.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's a rangefinders. It's, you know, binos, releases. I mean, it's all stuff.
Now it's drones finding deer.
Yeah, I don't get that either. That's a whole other thing that we're going to talk about later.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but I mean, people being mad about it. Why would you be mad when somebody's trying to harvest or, you know, recover something that they tried to kill?
Yes.
Like, you know, leave it, whatever. Another thing.
Yeah. Another thing.
You know,
we can get into that one later. Yeah, but
No,
the cameras in general are just intel for you to be a better hunter.
Yeah.
That's the way I look.
I mean, we've talked a ton about how woodsmanship is lost.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's because of cameras.
No.
I don't. And we also have podcasts about that.
Right.
You know, and it is something that Karl said to me too. Like, he thinks that a lot of people aren't that good hunters anymore. I agree with you, Karl.
Yeah.
100%. I don't think a lot of people are good hunters anymore. I don't.
I think that, yeah. Well, the reason I say that is a lot of the people nowadays they can't read the woods. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Read the woods. They don't have I want to say hunting ethic. I mean. They don't
That's
think
great.
like a true hunter
Great
would be.
Mike.
You know, you can walk through the woods and educate yourself. I think what this individual is trying to say is that, you know, he thinks that's the way you should hunt, and that's a traditional way of hunting. Well, I'm assuming, in my opinion, that individual may be a little bit older individual, but I'm not sure.
Right.
Or he's what I call a traditionalist, which is somebody who just believes that he's going to use the most primitive weapon he can to take an animal, which is great. Whatever, if that's what you want to do, but don't affect it and throw it on everybody else.
Yeah, I don't care about that either. That's fine.
The hunter thing that I was talking about is more towards, you know, you have to understand the animal you're hunting and respect the animal you're hunting. That's what I mean by that. How's that sound?
Mm-hmm.
A little more of, you know, I see people nowadays that you know, they're going to go sit in a ground blind that's right on a food plot, and they get inside this thing and think they're scent free, and you know, that's how they're going to hunt. Well, that's fine. If your animals are unpressured, they might come into the food plot, but as soon as they get educated, they're not coming in there during daylight. It's going to be nocturnal movement instantly. So cameras, I think, do nothing but help everyday hunters become more efficient at hunting specific animals. It doesn't make it so they're going to be able to take or harvest that animal.
Okay. Still a wild animal at the end of the day.
Yeah. And they're smarter than we are out there.
And the thing is, when the camera's taking pictures of them, you're not there most of the time.
No.
So if you are there and things aren't right, the animal might change its pattern.
Well, here's the other thing about big deer, and I've noticed, and 3/4 of the people that use cameras don't set them up right anyway. But the thing about big deer is they notice cameras now. They're educated on cameras. They will pick them out on trees, especially if they're not set up correctly. So when we talk about cameras, which we probably have to do another podcast on our setups and how we do stuff, they're set up specific ways, specific reasons to make sure the deer don't see them. So
Correct, sir.
that's what I think about trail cameras and the question. What do you think? Good?
Yeah, we'll drone on forever.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys watching and listening. If you guys got comments on cameras, what you think, put them right down here at YouTube, Rush Outdoors Wisconsin. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to listen to just the podcast, check us out on any podcast outlet out there. We're on all of them.
Correct, sir. Check out our Blue Collar Box on Facebook. Join it up.
Join it up. You get to talk to Mike. He's a pretty big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. It's right there. It's there. It must be true.
It's true.
Yeah, buddy.